My name is Greg.
Just don't run because we don't share. Oh,
what's your name? Hilario. Yeah, cool. Hilario. Well, I can give you a short tour.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Show you some of the materials and stuff like that. First thing I do want you to know about is this here. So there's two different ones here. You can check them out both.
Can I keep them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dianetics.tv and Scientology.tv takes you to the same basic page or the same website. But this one will give you more information on Dianetics. That one will give you more on Scientology. There's literally thousands of hours of shows that you can watch there.
Yeah.
Right. So we have shows on what Dianetics and Scientology are all about, what it looks like inside of the organizations, what is the Sea Org, what is this Free Winds ship, what are all these different types of things. You could literally spend hours watching, right? And then, as to the philosophy and whatnot, it's in there. Okay. Yeah.
Who's strong is that?
Who's what?
Strong.
Whose vehicle?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, he had an accident right in the corner here.
Oh,
he fell off his bike and he broke his knee. So I was like, hey man, you're not going to be taking that to the hospital or into the ambulance. So should I just house it for you for now? And he was like, yeah, sure, please.
So there's a random guy who got in an accident?
Yeah, random guy. Wow. Yeah, so I gave him back his keys and I said, we'll watch it until you're better and you can come back and grab it. So that was about a week and a half ago. So I was hoping a friend of his would pick it up, but we've been holding on.
Was that expensive?
It's a serum. It's like $8.
Oh, wow. I have no idea. Yeah. So, okay, so let me give you a quick walk around here. So essentially, we do a lot of services, a lot of materials, and then we have counseling. Okay, so the services, we have a lot of books and a lot of courses, different types of courses. And for practically every single book that we have, there's a course. Right? But you can just read the books on your own as well. So we have all of these basic ones here. These are very short, mini hat type of things, mini solutions to problems in your life. Like how to resolve conflicts, how to handle your personal integrity and your honesty. A lot of people do struggle with that, right?
Yeah.
Answers to drugs, how to handle children, marriage.
Have you guys any connectivity with homeless people and issues with their stuff like that?
Have we tried to help them?
Yeah, like programs,
in fact,
anything like that.
In fact, we have this set up right now. So there are 50,000 booklets on the truth about drugs. So these are not part of the church. It's what's one of the arms of the church, like one of the organizations that we promote together. But yeah, it's just basically teaching about like what is marijuana, what are the risks, what is cocaine, what are methamphetamines, and all these different types of things. Just to give people the information so they can make an informed decision.
Are these volunteers?
Yeah, these are the people that are going to be helping hand out these things, right? So we're doing handouts and then we're putting them out in the stores as well, so that they can. It's like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Behind there, of course, we've got some books, but we've got this in front right now. We've got the Dianetics materials here. So the first book on the subject that was really published was Dianetics, Modern Sense of Mental Health. After Mr. Hubbard first actually started working in Dianetics, he was working in the medical fields, and a lot of psychiatrists, psychologists, and other people were very interested in what he was doing and wanted to get information on it. And his mail just started piling up. Like he literally had his entire dining room was filled with mail. So instead of answering every single letter and answering the same question over and over and over, he wrote a book. Right?
And then I heard that when he first talked about Dianetics, a lot of people kind of rejected his idea and said it wasn't plausible. What did people think was wrong about Dianetics during that time?
Well, most people that actually read the book actually saw the validity in it, and anybody that can read the book can see the science behind it. Right? But there is a core of individuals that are, you could call them monopoly guys that are running the mental health institutions, right? And there's a lot of money in mental health. There is a huge amount.
Cancer.
Exactly. Right?
You can always try to do more.
Yeah. So when you come up with something that makes a lot of sense, that says that all you need is the principles that are outlined in this book, a friend, and a little bit of practice, and you can start handling these things for people, that threatens an entire organization. entire, part of our culture, right? And people start to really question, and then they start to really throw ideas at there, and the smear starts to come on, right? So in reality, Dianetics is a very, very effective therapy technique, right? And it works when it's applied correctly. It works 100% of the time. You don't have to believe in it. This is the difference between Scientology and other faiths as well. It's like there's nothing here you have to believe. You apply things, you have enough hope to apply it, and then you see it works. If it works, you use it. If it doesn't, you don't.
Okay. So if I was a person who wants to take Scientology, learning lessons here, what's a day in the life, I guess?
Well, the first thing that we do is we try to find out, well, what is it you need to improve on most in your life right now? We want to kickstart you and get you going. We want you to start really doing well in life. Whether that's improving your relationships, handling a drug addiction, anger management, or just trying to be more successful, managing your finances, whatever it is, we get you onto something that can help you with that. So we have all these basic life improving courses. We are here. These are, for Scientology, these are beginning basic materials that people would start out by studying, right? Yeah. The first thing that I recommend for everybody is to read books. Go home, read a book, take your own time with it, make up your own mind, right? You don't need to have somebody else in your head telling you what to think and what to do, right? That's the first thing. But you're looking for solutions to your life quickly, you want to get things done, and you're kind of past that point where you've made the decision that this is something you want to do. These courses here are all targeting specific things, right?
And what do these courses entail? What do you do?
They're the basic foundational understandings of each of these subjects.
So they're educational.
They're educational, and they have the senior information on each one. An example would be breathing takes oxygen, right? And that's a senior datum that the body needs oxygen, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to what it does and all these different things. The fact is, the very, very fundamental thing is the body needs oxygen, right? But anyway, so people would start doing something like that, or they might come in and they might start with Dianetics processing. So a simple course is called the seminar, Dianetics seminar.
Is that the movie?
Yeah, you watch a video and it's a weekend event. So you watch the video, you get short instruction on how to deliver Dianetics, and within the first 3.5 hours, you're doing Dianetics, you're auditing yourself, you're counseling another person, and then you go back and forth. So he counsels you, you counsel them, and you're all under the care of one of the Dianetics professionals. And then by the end of the weekend, you understand that, hey, there is a part of my mind that is working against me, and I can do something about it.
So if I were to be a part of, if anyone would be a part of Scientology, how often do they come here?
Some people come here every day. Some people come here once a month. Some people I haven't seen in a couple of years, to be honest. They're living abroad or whatever, and they study their courses and they do things at home, and they come in or they go to a different organization.
And when they come in and they do lecture and the courses.
Yeah, they might do a course, or they might do one of the Scientology levels that we have.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I just have a quick question, but there's a lot of actors that was originally in Scientology that maybe their family was influenced because of the fact that they were influenced a member of Scientology, and a lot of them left Scientology in the future after their movies exploded and stuff like that. And after they talk about how Scientology used a lot of systematic assimilation, a lot of abuse, why is
Who are you referring to?
I mean, do you have the script?
So is there a particular person or people you're talking about?
I'm not aggressive, but Leah Remini.
Leah Remini?
Yeah.
That's just one person.
Yeah.
Leah Remini she's just full of BS.
Okay.
There's what is it called? LeahReminiExposed.org, I think. Yeah, he'll help.
Oh, there's a special website?
There's a website which basically debunks everything that she's ever written about. In fact, one of the persons that was on her show that was working with her, who was a Scientologist and then went the other side and then came back to Scientology, he's basically pointed out every single falsehood about her story, and it was it was basically put in as like, it's not even actual, it's not nonfiction, it's all fiction.
Oh, I see.
Right? Like, basically what happens is people tell their stories, they get disgruntled, and then they start twisting truths. Right? You can see it in your life in anything that you do. Somebody, they get angry and they don't tell the truth. They twist it, even just slightly. So what ends up happening is as they do that, they twist it more and more and more, and things get completely off the rail. Right? So somebody is trying to handle some kind of ethical problem in their life. The church is here to help. The church is here to help you get off drugs. The church is here to help you with your family. The church is here to help you organize your life so you can get better at things. But if you take offense to that, or you can't do something like that, and you start to get disgruntled for whatever reason, it's not the church's fault. It's the fact is that there's, maybe there's an interpersonal relationship clash going on, but there could also just be the person doesn't want to confess something that he's done. Maybe he did something really horrific or really embarrassing that he doesn't want to talk about, and the church is like, look, if you don't get this off, you're going to live with it, right? And he just ends up getting into a big argument about it. I don't know, but all I can tell you about Leah Remedy is that the information that she has been proven to be unfactual, and
scary media will always sell better than positive media. Like something that would scare people is always going to sell better than something.
Yeah, exactly. And because most people have never really looked at Scientology for themselves, they're ready to believe pretty much anything that they see the first time. Yeah. People believe a lot of negative stuff too. They're, oh yeah, it must be true because I heard about all the other cults and the guy that gave Kool-Aid out to people and everybody died. It must be just like that. Not anything like that, and it's not even a cult. I mean, if you want to get into what a cult is, it's not even.
They say that like Scientology is like a really passive religion.
So you can say
calm religion.
This is an article from our website. It's Stanley.org.
Scientology is an exact.
Scientology is taking action against
An
discrimination.
exact philosophy that you can apply to improve your life.
But it's a choice.
Yeah, you can just take a look.
It is
at what
completely
these
a choice.
points are,
Yeah,
like,
in fact, one of the
documented
very first
history of lying to the police or
Scientology-
inciting others to do so concerning
This is your idea of what we're recommending.
And I think kind of most notable is like
Just read that. And
I think it's about
it
money.
goes into
It is a show and you get paid for it, right? So
how to study Scientology. Talk
It's just
about how you don't take it as like just gospel. It's not something that's being preached to you. You have to do your own inspection. You have to do your own tests and observations. You can't just like blindly follow somebody or anything. That is a denial of your own truth, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to understand things for yourself.
And what's like around there? Like I know there's a.
Let me take you on a tour. And over the link.
No.
Yeah, I thought.
So right now these folks here this is our chapel. These are all members of our humanitarian for our new church, which we're purchasing. We're getting a new building in downtown.
Oh, you're in a different building.
Yeah.
Are you moving or are you also keeping this?
No, we're going to be moving.
Oh, I see.
In here, this is our bookstore. So first thing we have here is we have children's books. We have two different sets, one for 7 and under, or no, 7 and up, and one for 10 and up. So the 10 and up, of course, is for teenagers and stuff like that, right? But it covers all the basic principles of what Scientology is. In here, this is our bookstore. So we have a materials guide chart. This is all of Mr. Hubbard's work his entire life on the subject of Dianetics and Scientology. As you can see, Dianetics is right here. And then there's some principles that you probably won't understand in terms of like all the different subjects that he went into. But Essentially, what he started out with was the highest levels of understanding, and then he found out, hey, you know what? A lot of people can't get there right away, and they need help. So then he started to handle the stuff to get people to really understand
concepts.
and not just to understand, but to be able to apply to change the conditions in their life, right? So people could understand it. I mean, you can understand very key, simple principles, but applying it to your life, change your perspective on things, that's a completely different thing, right? So, like releasing life force is what it really boils down to. You know, we have life force in us, and a lot of it's trapped within our negative things that we have holding on in our life, right? So, Mr. Hubbard's information shows you how to unlock that stuff. But in order to do that, you have to understand and be able to apply certain principles. And you have to be at a certain level yourself. Like if you're a drug addict and you're constantly doing drugs, you cannot experience any kind of spiritual good. There's not going to be spiritual good. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm Larry.
This is Larry. Larry's our bookstore officer. He's been around for
in charge of all this
years and years.
stuff.
And he's studied everything.
What would you like?
We're doing a project on Scientology overall.
Okay.
Oh, we need you guys to split the
And what the media says, with you guys.
Yeah,
saying,
you find out for yourself.
Yeah, like it's really obvious, like what the media says and what's different.
Yeah, did they say anything good about Trump or anybody else? Of course not. Of course not. So anyways, it's what you want to find out. And like as Greg can show you too, those books just came out, brand new ones, and they go into true information that you have to apply it. And you can do it with kids too, which is great.
Yeah, educating.
Well, they can do this stuff. Okay, this is what it is called, and then we teach them how to apply it, so they can see how it works, and then it's theirs. Anyway, are you from a university?
We're from high school.
Yeah.
And 3 science too. But anyway, a lot about the Dianetics part of this thing too. And if you want to learn more, I'm sure you can give them the right information.
Oh, yeah.
And they can get the basics.
He gave us some websites and.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, nice. I'm glad you guys made it. Very good. What grade are you in high school? Oh.
That's good. Anyway, one of the ones that I really like is the Anatomy of the Spirit of Consciousness. That's an extremely valuable one, and it teaches the basic, the component parts of the being himself, right? Of like what you are.
And what is is there a God? Like I know. Like,
Well, there's room for God in Scientology, but there's no belief system in it, right? So, like, literally, there's people of all different faiths in Scientology. There's Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, Hindus, all different types, right? And everybody obviously has their own concept of what God is, and even people that don't necessarily believe in any one of those specific gods, they have their own concept as well. Me, I'm kind of like in between, and I don't really have a concept of God, but I have an idea. Well, I do have a bit of an idea of what it might be, but I don't believe like in Christian or anything like that in particular, right? However, I know people that do, right? I know a lot of Scientologists that do.
Is it possible for someone to be, for example, Catholic or Christian, part of Scientology? It's kind of like a dual.
Yeah, it's if you want to consider anything similar to Scientology, it would be the closest thing would be Buddhism, right? But of course, Scientology is applying 20th century, 21st century technology and science to these questions, these old age questions of who are we, where are we going, where have we been, what are we doing, how do we unlock our potential? You know, like where are we in terms of consciousness? So that's really the biggest difference between Scientology or between these other faiths and what Scientology is. Scientology is applying the scientific principles to these things. But it's offering a key structure. This is our registration where we talk about people getting on to the next level. This is called the Bridge to Total Freedom. So this is what you hear about, and you might have seen this on the net if you looked close enough.
Yeah.
But when people get into Scientology, they basically are starting out at some of these basic introductory services, right? And people that get a lot of wins and gains and improve life because of those things tend to move on. It's kind of like if you get a plumber and he fixes your toilet and he does a really good job and he does it very cheap or he does a very capable job. You don't end up having problems. You'll hire him again or you'll recommend him to somebody else. Right? It's the same thing in Scientology. If you like a service and you found a lot of value out of it, you're probably going to continue on. And that is what all of these services provide. That's why people actually do get to the top, because they know that they're getting something extremely valuable. This lady here is one of my best friends, right there. Actually, all three of these guys are in, this is from LA, they're in LA in those pictures, but they came from,
How long has the Vancouver location been here?
50 years, 71 I think, 71. So 52, 53, no, 54 years.
I know Hubbard is like at a specific level on this list, but he's not at the highest level. So like, how do you reach that?
Well, Mr. Hubbard, when he passed on, he said that he could no longer continue his research with his body. Okay. He had to continue on without the body. So he
Technically,
he's at the top
right now.
Right? The highest level that we deliver right now is 8. Because the rest of the ones, Mr. Hubbard laid out specific parameters that the church has to achieve in order to release those levels. The thing is that what happens is when we released OT8, a lot of things on the planet changed, and when we released OT9 and 10, it's going to create a huge change on this planet.
What is that change?
Well, one of the big things is that we're going to have to be able to deliver. So right now, the organizations, the church, we've only been around 75 years. We have 11,000 churches, missions, and groups all around the world, which is tremendous. But in order to handle the population of the world, or in order even to handle 5% of the population of the world, we need to get a lot better, we get a lot bigger. And it's not just as simple as preaching out things. Like Scientology is an exact technology. Every one of these things requires an exact technology, and it requires an exact phenomenon for a person to achieve to get to the next level. And in order to do that, a person has to train for hours and hours and hours. Like, I'm talking hundreds of hours of training just for one of these levels to know how to deliver it. So there's a ton of training.
Where, do I ask where you are?
Well, I've only started down at Drug Rundown, but I've been up at I've been up here, but like I went back down to there.
How do you go back now?
Well, in the old days, we would say that we were up higher, but then we would realize that it wasn't actually true.
I see.
So some people, like, that's why Scientology has had growth problems. The only reason why Scientology's ever had real growth problems is because you get somebody that doesn't train properly and they don't know how to understand what that phenomena is, and then they say they achieved it before they did. And that's, unfortunately, that was me before, right? But yeah, as people move up, they achieve higher levels of understanding and they grow, right? And even in the old days when people weren't totally achieving those things, they still were getting a lot of growth in their life.
And where's Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is at OT8.
Oh wow! Oh shoot!
Yeah.
He's hot.
But yeah, so you start out with the purification program that's handling drugs, toxins, pollution in your body and removing it so that you have a clear mind. Right? And then you do survival rundowns. This is here where you get orientated to the visible universe in the present time. So instead of thinking in the past or thinking in the future, your mind just kind of focuses more on here and now. And it's important because that's what the only thing is that is real in this universe is the present time. Right? Everything else is just in your mind now. Right? Drug rundown handles the actual mental effects of drugs. You know, why you go hooked on them and, you know, that kind of thing, so that now you don't have to trip on that ever again. And then as you go up, you're building your memory and you're handling the barriers that are in your way to being able to fully confront yourself and take full responsibility.
And that's that clear, where you're fully...
Clear is where you no longer have your own reactive mind, right? That's basically, the reactive mind is like the subconscious part of your mind that is working against you. If you think of hypnotism is the action of putting somebody into a trance or an unconscious state and implanting a message into them to get them to do something in a certain way. They use it in mind-altering programs, like what was it called? It was the MK Ultra. right?
Okay.
So MK Ultra and
Using hallucinogenics to
yeah, hallucinogenics, all those types of stuff, right? And actually, the MK Ultra program was actually awarded by a Scientologist. No, Scientology actually found out about it, and they started doing publications. I think it was in the Washington Post.
Oh, you leaked it.
We leaked it, yes, because we were like, and that was another reason why we ended up getting speared, because
now
we
you're
stood up to
legal government.
yeah, we stood up to something that was highly, highly wrong. You know, people that say that Dianetics and Scientology are brainwashing are basically just copying what they believe,
What they've seen.
You know, like
Because they don't have first-hand
yeah. Well, exactly. But the way you do that kind of thing is with pain, drug, and hypnosis.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you program people to do things, and it's been done for thousands of years. The word assassin comes from the word hashish, which is a drug, hash, right? Which is used to program a person in order to do the things like assassinate people. Because most people, they don't want to do shit like that. Right? It's like, no, I'm not interested, right? But the Muslims, they used to give people hashish, feed them like beautiful, wonderful things, and give them a whole bunch of virgins and say that this was heaven, and if you do what you're told, you'll come back here. And then they would rip everything away from them, take the drug away from them, put them into a cell, make them withdraw from the drugs, and then they would implant messages into them. You have to kill something. You have to do this. You have to do that. And they would enforce it so hard, and the person would just give in to it, right? And then he would just do it. And that's today. Those suicide bombers. Anyway, that being said, what we do is the opposite. So we take you into that state just below or just above unconsciousness. It's a state of reverie where you're kind of just in between, and we lift those memories, those programmed things out of you. Now you think, oh, I've never been brainwashed, and I've never had any of those things. Well, anytime that you scrape your knee, anytime that you've been really sick, anytime that you've been born, or we were in the prenatal and you experienced intense pain, you've experienced a diminishment of your analytical or conscious abilities. And what happens at that moment is all those words that are being said at that time get programmed into you, and they act as hypnotic commands. So they steer you. So self-doubts, worries, reasons why you can't do something.
Hitting the kid back in the day, hitting the kid, pain, and then you tell them what to do, and then and you're like, God,
Yeah.
idea.
Similar idea. But Dianetics explains it in much more detail. Right? Anyway, that's basically the premise of going clear, is moving all that stuff out of you. And as you do that, you gain power back in you. You actually feel bigger, you think faster, your intelligence goes up, you're more yourself, you become physically and mentally healthier. So everything about you starts to improve this chart here. And then, of course, like I said in the front there, Scientology is about handling the spiritual side of you, right? So you get into the point where you're starting to think like, oh man, there's so much more to me. When you go clear, you're like, geez, that's not the end of it. Like, there's so many things, right? You think about like the spiritual being. But the spirit's been around a long time. And you've done a lot of different things, and you're withholding yourself from your life because of those things you've done, those negative things. Like, there's probably everybody in this world at one point being like the most criminal that should have been shot in the head at any time. Right? And we all have that. We're all holding on to that, and that's what keeps the being trapped. His own transgressions or sins. You can say this is where it parallels with Christianity is sins will trap you. What you do to others prevents you from breathing free. So, Scientology is an extremely ethical type of organization, and Scientologists are extremely ethical. We're trying to handle the reasons why we do those things, and we move forward, and we have a technology to actually stop that. It's not just a hope, it's actually something that can completely. So when people try to tell me about these things, Scientology is this and that, and it's like a cult or whatever, and we're taking people's money for it. Dude, if that was ever the case, Scientology was 75 years ago, the moment I started, because people that are part of the organization itself, people like me and Larry and James and all these other guys here, we don't want to take advantage of people. We just want to help. Like, there's not one person I've ever met in the church that is wanting to take advantage of people and destroy people's lives. Leah Remini, that's the type of person that is a Scientologist that wants to destroy people. She's no longer in Scientology, and she's attacking very good people that are just trying to help people, right? Now, that's all I can really say about that. So, and I know from 30 years of my experience that is right next to him that there's no malice here, there's no intent to hurt, there's no angle. Like, you go into other places, there's a lot of angles, right? You go to a psych's place and they want to keep you as a patient as long as they can, right? You go into a doctor's office, they want your money, Yeah, they want you to get better, and most doctors are good people, but they also want your money, right? And they also want you to be sick. If you're not sick, then you never go see them. No. And then if you never go see them, then they don't have a job. So that's why they don't promote nutrition as the first purpose. And nutrition is like one of the most important things in mental health as well. If you don't take good care of yourself, you're going to end up having mental health problems. If you don't take care of your environment, you're going to have mental health problems. These types of things. So, it's an important thing. But, if anybody ever says that, like Scientology is a cult or we're secretive or that we're taking people or whatever, I just laugh. And I say, you're either piping down from somebody else's information and you're just a robot saying something like that.
You haven't looked at both sides.
I have looked at both sides.
No, but I'm saying other people.
Yeah, no, they have.
Look at the one article they read. You didn't know you
Yeah, and you know what? When I was in school, I was told to learn through reading a book and then regurgitate the information. And I was never taught to inspect information for myself. And so many people are like that, right? That's the product of our education system. I'm sure you guys are kind of aware of that in your life right now. The education system is not invented very well on, hey, look at it for yourself in this perspective, right? So, but you guys are doing a good job here. You're interested in...
There's that. You gotta look at both sides. No better source from you.
Yeah. Anyway, right up to the top. And then this side is all training. So this is all the training stuff that people do, right? To deliver services to other people, right? But it's extremely valuable themselves.
So if I was in class 0, I would train, go class 1, and then train somebody who's in class 0 up to class 1, and then
so you're
class 2 would train me to go to class 2, and then I would train someone in class 1 to go to class 2, and it's like
you can go. There's so many different ways to go up the bridge here. You can literally do what we call co-audit, where you train with another person, and you do like you just said, you do class 0. And then you audit your buddy on class 0, and then he finishes class 0, and then he audits you on grade 0, right? And then you go back and forth, and you can go all the way to here. And then when you get to OT1, it's actually, you do it all yourself.
And what level are they?
She's OT5, he's just on solo, so he's basically right here. And then he's OT4 now, so he's right here.
Do you have to pay money every
And she's only been in for 3 years. No, she was only in 3 years. Do you have to pay money? Yes. Yeah.
How much is that just?
It really depends on each level. The purification program is $2,500. It's a full detoxification program. Sunshine rundown or survival rundown normally is also $2,500. The drug rundown is usually 12.5 hour intensive, which is $2,500. This one's usually 2 intensives, which would be $5,000. This one would be another intensive, $2,500.
What about in the OT?
I don't really have a lot of that information. I've never really looked at it, but I know that from here to here, you can achieve that in under a year.
Oh wow!
Right? In under a year. Yeah. This lady here, Elena Walls, her husband is also a good friend of mine. She went to Claire in I think it was a year and a short while. And her husband also went clear in less than a year. And the whole group that they were part of, they came from Ledford, which is a company in Vancouver. And then he started his own company called YESA, which is Young Entrepreneurial Sales Academy, I think it was. He's based out in Toronto, but he started up in Port Moody. Very successful. But yeah, that's that. And this is just our cafe area. Yeah. Over here, this is Mr. Hubbard's office, and this is in every organization. We have an office dedicated to Mr. Hubbard. It's just in honor of him and showing that we're still on source.
Oh, so like they took like what his office looked like, and you guys just recreated like. Exactly.
No.
Oh,
Everyone's different.
Got it.
Yeah, but it's just a symbolic gesture to show that we are still on source to Mr. Hubbard, that we're still following his work.
What's the book on his desk there?
That one there is the ministerial book. So it's basically the book for delivering Sunday services and special services here, like naming ceremonies and weddings.
This is a Hubbard.
That's his first one. Oh, no, that's the Mark 5 of it. Yeah, so this was back in the 60s, 70s. And this is the one that he used.
It's called e-meter as well.
Yeah, we call it an e-meter. Electropsychometer. And then he has courses like all of his biography books here. And you can go to lronhubbard.org and learn more about him yourself. But he wasn't just a writer, not just a science fiction writer. He wrote in practically every single genre. And at one point he was writing under 15 different pen names because he was writing so fast. Wow. But yeah, he was a very, very busy man. He was also licensed to captain any ship on any ocean.
Oh wow. Oh, so that's why it's Sea Org, because he was the captain.
What else? This one's kind of on service right now. It's a little bit in disrepair, but we have public horse rooms or public film rooms, so you can watch different films. Scientology.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah. You want, yeah, so like some of these are from the actual lectures of Mr. Hubbard himself. That's one of the things that I like about Scientology is you're getting everything from the horse's book. Like, because he wrote it, right? He did the lectures and he was able to record everything. Where, you go into Christianity and you're listening to somebody that listened to somebody talk. You know, and I know that when I did this in Scouts, we went to the campfire and we were all talking using the experiment. One guy would say one thing on one side and then we all had to say the same thing as we went by. Right? And by the time it got to the other end, it was completely different, right? Even on the first degree, it was completely different, right? So it's kind of funny, but yeah, that's my opinion on it. We have the other levels, but I can't really show you. That's fine. A lot of activities going on out there. Absolutely. Thanks for coming in, guys. Sure. Lario and Steve. Yeah. And if you are interested in the book, Newsline on Life is a great book too.
Yeah. And they're online as well?
They're online, yeah. You can get them at Audible. That's a really good source. You can listen to it. But this one is only like 300 and something pages. Yeah, this is a thumbnail, right? So you can see it gets to the glossary quickly. But yeah, it's not a big book, but it gets into some of the basics. And it kind of levels you up. Not in terms of like the Scientology levels.
Like in your understanding.
Yeah. It's like, you go through like a video game and it just gets a little bit harder to get to that level, right? Cool. Well, thanks again for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah, good night. Hope your project goes well.
Thank you.
Take a look at the websites.
Also, I just have one more question.
Okay.
Were you here during the raid?
No, I wasn't. Unfortunately, there was one person here, and while the guy was trying to break the ice, he had to break the glass. And we probably have noticed that we've actually put in some bulletproof glass.
Oh, this is big. How'd you guys know about that? Like, I heard you guys like assumed that there was a break in that.
Well, we didn't assume. There's Scientologists in that age bracket that got work.
Oh wow.
Like my son is only like 5 years older than you. He informed me about it, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this could be a problem. And then I think for the most part, like the way I saw it was like I was like, oh no, this is going to be a big issue. Right? So I informed the executives here. I was like, I think this is going to be a big problem in Vancouver. They're like, nah, it's just going to be a little thing. We'll just put locks on the doors so they can't run through. I'm like, well, you better make sure you just.
And then like 300 people.
I was at the library over there and saw like a bunch of people go up, and then like 5 seconds later the police came.
No, it was huge.
To be honest, you know, like I understand kids are just like wanting to be kids and have fun. But what they don't understand is like there's like literally counseling sessions going on here where, you know, disruption of those things can be very disruptive. It's very difficult to break through. We have courses going on here where people are studying to improve their lives and help others. And we have community programs going on here to, like you saw, to get truth about drugs and stuff like that out. So I thought of it as like just really irresponsible. But I don't blame the kids. I blame more the people that are kind of pushing them in that direction. So, but I appreciate you guys coming in and learning about it. And I hope your project goes well and that you do get the word out. Have a great night. Thank you.